Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent Show, a special edition of the Neurodivergent Show, episode 21, season 1. My name is Imo Folami, and this is where we discuss all things ADHD, all things OCD, autism, and dyslexia, and many more. Today's show is kind of solemn for me, I should say, because it's it's the end of something beautiful, a temporary end, I should say. Um, the Neurodivergent show started 5 months ago, and when we started, I absolutely had no plan how we were going to, go. I had no plans. I, I, I had no idea. All I did was started episode 1, and then everything just started falling in place. Before I get into some of the things I'd like to discuss today and rounding off the season 1, I want to take you through a few of the highlights, some of the things that that we that we came across on the Neurodivergent show. On the Neurodivergent show, we've laughed together, we've cried together, we've shared so many intimate things together, and here is a quick glimpse of some of the things we've done together. Take a listen.
It dawned on me that my twins are different. Like when I started, like really, like it just was glaring. I couldn't pretend anymore. I think for me, it was. I wouldn't lie. It was so many feelings. First of all, I had the time where I kept blaming myself. I kept thinking it was something I did. It was something I ate. It was what I did when I was pregnant. It was vaccines I took. I just I just went to these different phases and I would cry. Sometimes I'd feel like I was the reason for it. I'd feel like I failed them, like there was something. I'm so sorry. I feel like there was something else I could have done, and maybe it was my fault. And I'd go through that phase and cry and ask God.
Growing up for me was it was confusing. It was confusing because I started out as, I mean, as you know, I started out as the always active child. I was always doing one thing or the other. I wanted to do stuff. I was always outstanding. But because I was playful. I mean, quoted playful.
Right.
I was always going to for what I wanted to do without, I mean, damning the consequence. So I was tagged as the bad child. I was tagged as the stubborn child. I was tagged as the old.
Some of my friends and family may know, but whenever I get a text message on my phone, my brain, like, I feel like neurotypical people, they hear that ding or that vibrate and they're like, okay, let me pick that up and see what the text message is about. And my brain doesn't do that, and I have to keep reminding people, hey, I am not ignoring you. I'm not ghosting you. I promise. I may have probably seen that text message, but my brain didn't have the energy at that time to look at that, or deal with that. And if you go through my phone, I have I don't know, I think right now I'm at 690 something unread text messages. And then my phone calls are the same way. And then I go through these spurts of, okay, let me sit down and pay attention to all these things and go through my phone. And then I'll get, distracted about something else.
and I should listen to the pediatrician. For me, first of all, it was fear because, like I said, coming from Nigeria, right? When your child has a disability, it's like you're doomed. Like, this is the end of the world. Just give up everything, give up friendship, give up career, give up dreams, and just think about how to take care of that child until you die, right? So that was what was going on in my head. And I started to Google about autism and all of that. And back then, like I said, 7 years ago, there wasn't a lot of people talking about autism on the internet like that. So I didn't have a lot of, there were a few success stories, but I didn't have a lot to draw from, which is again why I started my journey. I didn't have a lot to draw from. So But I found out things about autism, and it was just so scary and dark, and I would cry and all of that. So I think all the feelings that everybody has ever felt, I felt it at the beginning. Yeah.
When Cole was born, that they do a screening, a hearing screening, in the hospital. So we found out Cole, they did the hearing screen on Cole 3 times, and 3 times he failed.
Okay.
So at this point, like I said, this was at birth. He was only a few days old, and at this point, autism, being on the spectrum, all that was so far away from my mind. So I had a C-section with Cole. So usually when you have C-sections, they'll tell you, oh, the baby may have, fluid in their ears or whatever. So we went through all these tests, and he didn't get an official diagnosis of being profoundly deaf until he was like 6 months old. But that's not even the half of it yet. So by this point, he had to get tested for acid reflux. When we went through that test, they did it, they put him under anesthesia, and they did some images. So they didn't find any acid reflux, but what they did find, they said, oh, he has some anomalies in his bone structure and everything. Like he had missing ribs, he had fused bones in his neck, scoliosis. Also found out that he had he has 2 kidneys, but they fused together. So at this point, we had to go to a geneticist, and they diagnosed him with something called.
So I found ways that allowed me to overcome what I considered to be weaknesses that impaired my ability to reach the outcome I want. So I'll give you an example. Today's podcast, I set multiple alarms on my phone. There's an alarm reminding me in general, there's a podcast tonight. Then there may be another alarm later that says, hey, time to get dressed for the podcast. Then there's a 5 minutes before you need to log into the podcast, and I do this on an iPhone, just little things. And for many years, I had to do that for my work appointments as well. However, now there's a little app called Calendly, which is from the gods. And I'll tell you because it will send, I can set text messages to send a text 30 minutes before the meeting, 5 minutes before the meeting. So I don't miss meetings, or I make meetings on time and things like that. Just simply remembering things that are not business. And that's really where today, I guess, if there's any, things that I still see are things that are not part of my business.
The earliest stage of my life, before I even got married to my wife, the people around me got the worst of this. And my mom, she used to stay with me, and I used to be worse than this. And I told my wife that, she was like, really, you used to be worse than this? Like, yeah. I used to I used to be worse than this. And what I mean by that is, you can't cook you can't cook in my kitchen, because I don't want to see oil. I don't want to see a spill. The smell of the food, no smelling of food in the house. If you have to cook, I won't be at home, and I have to leave the house for you to cook. And before I get back, everything has to be set, arranged, pots cleaned, plates cleaned, wiped down. I don't want to smell that fish. I don't want to smell the chicken. I don't want to smell the beef. I don't want to smell nothing. I don't want to see anything. So that was how I used to be before. So getting married, you can now imagine how that is when you have a wife that is really, really opinionated. Now she's her own self, and now you're trying to now impose that on her. You can that should explain the story for you guys to picture that won't turn out well. So
All right, that last person was my husband. Big shout out to him. I'm going to be giving a major shout out to him later because he's a major part of the show. I tell you, many times people ask me, why the Neurodivergent show? Why? And haven't thought about it for so long and so hard. I started the Neurodivergent show for 3 reasons, and I will share those reasons with you. The first reason I started the Neurodivergent show was for this, so that people can share their story, so that you can understand your neighbor out there, so that you can understand your child, so that we can understand that there is a thing called difference, and some people are just different, not less than, not abnormal, not mentally ill, just different. And if you can understand them, if they can tell you who they are, maybe then you can understand why they act the way they are. And maybe as a society, we can be more graceful towards them, towards some of their traits. My husband just mentioned about how he is wired differently. He definitely doesn't want to be around dirt. And it took me a long time to understand him. And I'm still trying to understand him because trust me, we still get into it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing OCD with you today. But he's different. My brother, whom I grew up with, was whooped almost every day of his life. Why? Because people just didn't get him. We just didn't understand him. For so long, I often wondered why my kids were just different. Why they could read as early as 2, but they couldn't talk. And it bothered me. Not just my kids, my friends' kids, just going around seeing all these kids that are extra smart, extra talented, but then they have this thing going on with them that would sound or seem weird to us as a society. That's one of the reasons I started the Neurodivergent show, so that we can understand that neurodivergence is a thing, and there's certain people in our midst whose brains are wired differently. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay for them to be different. Another reason why I started the Neurodivergent show was I felt called to do so. In fact, that was my major reason. In my heart, God laid it so strong and I could not run away from it. And for me, it wasn't really about having thousands of views or millions of views. No, it was just about listening to God and just following Him. And it really wouldn't matter if it was just one person that tuned in or 2 people that tuned in. It just mattered that people were getting blessed. And that for me was a confirmation that God laid it on my heart. The third reason why I started the Neurodivergent show, I didn't know I started this, but I think there was a selfish part of me, in quote, that wanted to introduce my kids to the world. I kind of felt like I had to do something. I wanted to build a world, I wanted to attempt to give them a world that understood them. I wanted people to understand what they were getting. That is, my kids, neurodivergent kids. And I wanted the world to understand that, hey, they are different. They're not going to be like you, act like you, think like you in certain areas. But I want you to love them being different. I want you to accept them being different. And I also wanted to prepare them for the world, doing both of that. You see, all these things I thought I was doing for the Neurodivergent show. But you know what? I think the Neurodivergent show was doing all of this for me. I do not want to be emotional here, but I can absolutely tell you that the Neurodivergent show has changed my life. It's changed my life for the better. You see, when I started the Neurodivergent show, I thought I knew certain things. I didn't know that what I knew was probably 10%. And now I have grown so much. I have learned to love people, accept them. My friendship has become better. My relationship even way better. Now, I feel like I have done something I should. I feel like I have added to my world in a way that God's led me to. I want to encourage everybody out there. You see, the truth of the matter is we can keep shining. We can continue to shy away from this, as many of us have been doing, or we can just start talking about it. You see, on the side of openness, there is so much joy. There is so much peace. I get it. I get the fact that people are going to look at you and, the African community where many of us are from, they're going to stare at you and, oh, our kid is neurodivergent. Oh, she's washing her dirty linen in public. You see, that is one aspect. And I'm not saying you wouldn't feel that. But you see, on the other side of openness and communication, you find healing. I feel like the Neurodivergent show kind of healed me. I did not know that I needed healing, but I feel like it healed me. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this to you out there. You see, if we all keep hiding our autistic kids, hiding our ADHD kids, hiding everything and, pretending like everything is perfect or trying to mold our kid into this perfect thing, the stigma continues. So how about we just play our own role? How about you just do something? Now you don't have to announce and go on YouTube and start a show, but you can just develop a community. It's not only you. I tell you, you're not the only one with an autistic kid. You're not the only one with an ADHD kid. And if you open up and share and build a community around yourself, I tell you, on that side, you will find so much joy. You will find so much happiness. You will find so much relief. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said that I kind of feel so light right now. So light. Like every week I'd come for the past 5 months, every week I'd come for the Neurodivergent show, would do it, and I did not know that I was shedding. I was shedding. And now I feel so light. And I hope that the Neurodivergent show has been able to do the same for you. There are certain people I'd like to give a big thank you to, but I want to give a big thank you to my God, my Creator, the one who has made this possible, the one who has made this avenue, everything we have going on possible. He is the beginning and the end. I give him all the praise. I give him all the glory for a beautiful 21 episodes. The next person I want to say a big thank you to is my husband. Oh, my husband. Oh my God. This man is the best thing to happen to me after God. I tell you, on every show, what you see here is, what you just see is like, you see the finished product. Behind the scene, this man is working tirelessly. When we have problems on the show, he's troubleshooting. Even before the show, we have rehearsals upon rehearsals. Just now, we had rehearsals and stuff. He's always been like my number one supporter, always cheering me on, even on nights where, when you have shows, you're like, oh my God, he's always there to cheer me on. I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you for believing in this. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful, kind-hearted person. I want to say a big thank you to every one of you. You see, I just didn't want to do this. When I started, okay, I'm so sorry. I really thought I wasn't going to do this. I really hoped I wasn't going to do this. When this show started, I wasn't just sure what to expect. I wasn't just sure. I was like, oh my God, But you guys, oh my goodness, you guys, you have been awesome. You have been absolutely wonderful. I mean, I get text messages, calls. You guys are there cheering me on. Even when we have problems on the show, you are there, you're troubleshooting. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for believing in this. Thank you for believing in me. Many of you didn't even know what neurodivergence meant, but you listened. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making changes in your home, in your house. Thank you for giving the show a chance. I appreciate you. I have many people or some people that have given us a shout out. I'm going to play some of their shout out now and try and clean this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I really was hoping I wouldn't do this. But let's let's listen to some of our people, our day ones that are always there through thick and thin. Let's listen to some of the things they have to say about the show.
Hey Imo, it's Tolu Amuson here. I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing through the Neurodivergent show. It's been an educating and insightful show. I didn't even know what the term neurodivergent meant until the very first day we had that conversation, and it's quite interesting to find out that I actually lived through my childhood years with someone who was neurodivergent. It's been, the show has been really eye-opening for me, and I just want you to know that you're doing the Lord's work, girl. Do not stop what you're doing. Love you, love you, love you so much. More grace and more power to your elbow. Love you, girl.
Hi, Emo. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of the Neurodivergence show. It's been a blessing for me. I have to say I've learned a lot. I've gained a lot of insight on neurodivergency and several different umbrellas is under it. I thank you for also giving me a platform to learn and to grow and to learn from others. I was also able to present my story about neurodivergency as it relates to my family. So thank you once again. I appreciate this platform, and I'm looking forward to even greater opportunities just to educate and bring people together. So it's been a great season. Thank you. Hi, Emo. I just wanted to send a shout out to you and the Neurodivergent show for giving
to the I've been an avid viewer of the Neurodivergent show for the past couple of months since it initially launched. And I would just like to first of all thank the curators of this show for even creating this platform and giving us the opportunity to come and just learn more about what it really means to be neurodivergent, to really understand the different ranges of what that even really entails, that it's not just limited to the common things that we hear, whether it means being on the spectrum, the autism spectrum, having ADHD, being dyslexic, and so on and so forth. And also giving us insight into the day-to-day lives and what it really means and the experiences that people have, right? Not just necessarily the actual folks that are neurodivergent, but even the loved ones, their families, providing resources, providing hope to people, to letting them know that it's not the end of the world to be a neurodivergent person after all. If there's one key thing that I definitely have taken away from this show, it would have to be that being neurodivergent does not necessarily have a profile, right? It's not limited to just boys or men or just women or girls. It's not limited to just black people or white people. It affects us all as humanity. It's something that impacts every single person. So it's very critical that we have understanding, expand our minds to what is out there, because we are all one after all. And so thank you for doing what you do. It's blessing me in ways that I cannot even put into words. And I'm sure it's blessing others as well. And I am looking forward to more content from you. Blessings.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is David Toluhi. And tonight I am giving a shout out to Imo Tolu and their family at large that has given us this platform, the Neurodivergent show, on YouTube and on Instagram. This season 1 has been very, very informative and educative. We have understood more than we did before this show started. We have tried to educate ourselves on things that we didn't know before, or things that we ought to know that we didn't even know. The show is great. If you haven't tuned in, I will encourage you to follow the show on Instagram and YouTube and catch up with season 1, so that when we come back to season 2, you will be on the same page with us, understanding ADHD, understanding autism, and the community that we all live in. Thank you very much, Imo, again, for this platform. All the best, and we can't wait for season 2. Thank you.
And that's a wrap. Season 1 of the Neurodivergent show is officially over. And this season has been packed with so much goodness, so much education, so much knowledge. Because you know what they say, knowledge is power. And I have learned so much from parents of kids with neurodivergent to also individuals with neurodivergent, sharing their experience, sharing what they've been through, and learning as an individual, as community, as a parent, to give grace, to give understanding, and to be compassionate towards the neurodivergent community. I am so excited for what season 2 has to offer. Shout out and kudos to the Neurodivergent show team. You guys are doing great and just sharing out information, making sure people are aware of what is going on in the community. I am excited and elated for what season 2 has to offer. I know it is going to be amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you, Toyose. Thank you, Nika. Thank you, David, and thank you, Tolu. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. This has been our day one. You're always on the show, always encouraging. I get loads of kind comments, just encouragement. So thank you for always being there, and I appreciate you. The Neurodivergent show, the past 20 episodes. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage that you stream it and binge watch it if you may. We've had people share their experiences, ADHDs, OCDs, parents of autistics, challenges many people are facing. We've had different topics. We've discussed how, these things affect us as individuals, as family, as a society at large. At some point, we even discussed the church. We went that deep. So many people are wondering, season 2. What I can say about season 2 is watch out. The show, by the special grace of God, will be repackaged into, it's going to be better. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be even beyond what you can imagine. That I can tell you. I want to give you specifics, but I'm going to keep dropping those specifics on our Instagram page. So if you are not on our Instagram, please go find us on at the Neurodivergent Show. I'm going to put it on the screen so that you can see on at the Neurodivergent Show, where we're going to communicate what the next season holds. And, we're just going to keep going on. It has not ended, please. This is the finale of the live show. So we're going to have videos now, regular videos, not the live one for now, just regular videos on our YouTube page. So please do stay tuned. I think we have a few comments here from Toyose. Toyose, let's see if I can grab our comments real quick so that I can read them, and then we can just end the show. Really, today's show is supposed to be very brief. Okay, we have so many comments here. Let's go ahead and take them. Okay, let's take this one out. Toyosi says, so excited to be here. Congrats on a successful season 1. Thank you so much. Thank you. Toyosi says, I'm getting chills watching this. What a journey. Thank you. And Toyosi has been a big part of the journey. Make sure if just go to the last episode. The last episode was where we prayed. Toyosi led us in wonderful prayer points. We prayed for all kids that are neurodivergent. It was like powerful, a very, very powerful episode. That's episode 20. So please do check it out. Shout out to you, Toyosi. Thank you for always being there. I appreciate you. Applause for your husband. Absolutely. A big applause for him. Thank you, my husband. Oh, my husband. My husband. Oh, my God. Let me not start. Oh, Sarah says, oh, I hope, is that all to my cry? Okay. There is freedom in being true to yourself and owning your story. Absolutely, Toya said, thank you. There is. You're fine, sis. We love you. Thank you for yielding to the call. Love you too, sis. I love you, love you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Charles Falami says, awesome. Looking forward to many more seasons. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Charles Falami was one of the first people I told about the Neurodivergent show. Big shout out to my own, I call him my father-in-law. is very special to me. He's always supportive. If I call my big brother and I tell him, it's like, Imole, no problem, no problem. So thank you for being one of those people, one of those first people to believe in this, even being a pastor. Thank you so much, sir, for your support. I appreciate you. Thank you for always being there. Very enlightening and eye-opening. Thank you. Greater heights in Jesus' name. Thank you. Toyosi says, we're anticipating, can't wait, praying for more grace to do the work. Sarah says, can't wait for season 2. And that is a good way to wrap it up. Yes, we cannot wait for season 2. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with something the late Chasby that was my friend before he passed on used to say on his show and used to tell me. And he would say, if each one can reach one and each one can teach one, what a better place our community will be. I'm going to say that again just so that you remember it. If each one can reach one and each one can teach one, what a better place our community will be. Say, if we're going to see any change, it's going to begin from you and I. Okay, if we're going to see, if we want to see any change with the neurodiverse community, it's going to begin with the things we say. It's going to begin with educating others, teaching them about neurodiversity. It's going to be how we treat those that are neurodiverse, just trying to understand them and trying to love them. It's going to begin with us. We may not be able to change the world, but, just little things here and there, it can just bring about, even if it's just a little bit of change, it counts. My name is Imo Folami, and this is where I say a goodbye to a very wonderful season 1. If I could do this again, or if given the opportunity, I would do this again in a heartbeat. I'm so grateful to you all once again. Thank you so much. Thank you, my family. Thank you, my friends. I want to say a big thank you to my brother for giving us the grace to share a story. It was one of those first people that shared a story. My husband shared a story. Kinsey has shared a story. Kidra has shared a story. They've shared their story. They're just talking about themselves. It's not easy, with the whole stigma going on out there. So special thank you to you all. Thank you to Toyosi. Thank you to Sarah. Sarah, you're awesome. You've been wonderful from day one. Thank you so much for your check-ins. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you to Tolu. Big shout out to Tolu. I've got 2 Tolus, Tolu Oloniyo and Tolu Amuson. Thank you to both of you. Tolu Amuson called me one day and prayed with me for over an hour. Thank you so much. See, I can go on like this all night. I tell you, I can. When it's about the Neurodivergent show, and you all have been awesome. But you know what? I'm just going to let you go just enjoy the rest of your night. All right, this is where we say our goodbye. Thank you so much for an awesome season 1. And I look forward to doing this again with you in season 2. My name is Imo Falami. Good night.